I believe we are online, so hello everyone and welcome to a terrible stream for terrible people. Unlike usual, Mrs. Sick is currently not with us. She is in t'other room talking to her friends. I think she's doing a Fallout 4, not Fallout 4, a Fallout based D&D. Why is the title a choice? Yeah, pizza or happiness. Pizza or happiness is a sort of a reference to a previous stream where we were discussing the fact that no pizza was somehow a better choice than no pizza. He didn't understand how no pizza would ever be a better choice than one pizza or pizza, because of the constant ongoing "I need to lose goddamn weight" thing. I think I've genuinely lost some. This week's video is in YouTube hell at the moment. Uploaded 3 copies of the exact same video. One of them has been permanently demonetized, so that's a fun game of let's decide whether or not Sick gets paid this week. So I'm still waiting on the other 2 to see what happens. But there is more of me in this one, in the live action segment. There's less live action, but more of me in what is there. And I was looking at it and I thought, I think I'm getting thinner. So that's good. We're definitely losing weight. We've been keeping up on top of Wii U. And surely it's more hit limbo than hell. It is technically, but the feelings as a person who is an incredibly anxious motherfucker who finds life stressful, just existence is often very, very stressful. Yeah, just waiting on someone to do something. Especially I uploaded all 3 videos essentially at the same time. One of them was checked fucking hours ago, and the other 2 just keep getting little views on them. So, I don't know what they're doing. I don't think there's anything particularly bad in it, unless my dancing was just that offensive. Or my... I've just given the game away. Fuck. It's still good. Unless seeing me was particularly offensive, which I don't think so. But I think limbo is worse than hell. It depends. Like, would constant suffering be worse than no stimulation? I mean, human beings like to be stimulated. Proud to be Canadian because we invented pineapple on pizza. Yeah. I mean, if you have certain interpretations of biblical stuff, hell is just being without God, which I'm fine with. Hell is like pretty alright. I don't have some judgy fucking busybody telling me that I can't masturbate or eat bacon. I'm pretty cool with that. That sounds actually pretty sweet. But yeah. I did end up getting a Mega Drive Mini. It is fucking awesome. The flaps function. It's just the best thing ever. I started looking up the flaps being the cartridge slot. I use big quotes there. The cartridge slot is it's functional in the same way that I don't know. It's functional in the same way that the doors on a toy car are functional. Yeah, but you can't get in it, and it doesn't do anything. It's just cool to be there. But it is really cool to be there. And you can buy little fake cartridges for it. And I was looking at them on eBay, and the ones I found at least were like a set of them, but they were still 50 quid, which is a good 70 to 80% of the price of the actual thing that actually plays games and has 2 controllers with it that you can use on a PC. So, that's a maybe. You live a person in a room with electric shock button. They push it just to have some stimulus. Yeah, that is kind of a thing. And I would just push it because I'm a moron. I mean, you leave me in a room with a taser, and I will eventually tase myself because I can be in a room. Here's the thing: like the idea of that is that you have this big empty room, and all there is the shock button. Yeah, but you could leave me in a room with all the entertainment in the world, but like have the shock button on a pedestal and have it like a big round shiny button. I would definitely press the shit out of that more than once, probably, because I'm quite stupid. You basing happiness off food, off what food you were eating. It's just a joke. Let's be fair. It's a joke title. Don't read too much into it. I'm actually, and sort of the opposite of happiness. I'm trying to lose weight. I'm trying to make myself better and happier, just by, taking care of myself. Give Sir Sick the shock button. I am shocked by that. I'm always shocked when anybody wants to give me money. That shit doesn't make any sense to me. I still don't quite understand this whole YouTube thing. It makes more sense to me that I would be paid by YouTube than people actually liking my stuff enough to want to give me money for the sake of it. But who knows? I just get a message from someone. Oh, I just got an email telling me that I'm live. Thank you, YouTube. I guess that makes a certain sense. I think if I wasn't live streaming and I got the email that said, "You're now live," I'd be like, what the fuck? Go around my house looking for fucking little lights on and stuff like that. Better or happier? I like to think that I'll be both. You'd love that electric shock game that needs 2 or more people to play it. I mean, I've seen some of them. Oh no, my only glass is a pint glass. Oh well. Well, you just have to have a bigger drink, don't you? That's the way to do it. I mean, I'm currently having a pint of whiskey and Coke, so, both at a time is impossible. Maybe. But I'm trying my best. I'm trying to be good. But we have been keeping it up. We did try using Wii Fit as a sort of a personal trainer. That's the way I sort of see it. And unfortunately, our last way of using it was an emulator called Dolphin. It seemed like a really good idea at the time because I've always got a computer behind my TV. I've always got a PC behind my TV. And the Dolphin emulator for GameCube and Wii is excellent. It's really, really, really good. And you can do... Marijuana. Oh, pardon me. You could do a lot of awesome shit with it. I personally enjoy Captain Coke. Captain Morgan's. I do like Captain Morgan's. Also Kraken. Kraken is really yummy. I want to try... it's called Dark Matter. It's quite expensive for what it is. It's like 25 to £30 a bottle. But the bottle looks like it's something out of a laboratory. It's got like a really sciencey looking label. I really like that. And at some point, I'm just going to have to... I don't like spending more than about £15 on a bottle of spirits that's going to be mixed into things. Because it makes... I mean, it does make a difference, but it makes a questionable amount of difference. It all tastes pretty good. Dark Matter is £25.25. Is that something it's specifically supposed to be? Is that supposed to mean something? Look at ceramic bottle of Kraken. It is yummy. That's like 1,000,000 times cheaper than Dark Matter should be. Yeah. Furnish and Tizer. Like furniture polish? I don't know what furnish is. But I'm usually cheap whiskey and Pepsi Max. That's my thing. I was saying something about something else. Oh, yeah. Actually getting on top of regularly using Wii Fit, or Wii Fit U specifically, as a personal trainer, and to keep a track of our weights and our just knowing what's going on with our bodies, really. And our exercise. That's it. Because we've got the Wii Fit fucking. I can't even think what it's called. I think it's just called the tracker. Like I've done 3,773 steps today because we went out for a walk earlier, and it's quite good to be able to see how much you do, and it sort of encourages you to do that. But the main reason we weren't using it before is because I was using a special thing called a Mayflash something or other, which is a Bluetooth device that also has the sort of everyone calls it a sensor bar, but the thing that comes with a Wii that you use the Wiimotes on isn't a sensor bar. It's basically three LEDs, because Wii controllers, not Wii U controllers, Wii controllers, Wiimotes are little cameras. That's what they are. That's how they work, partially. So they look around your room. It's why you can take two candles. You can put two candles next to each other, point a Wiimote at it, and it will detect those as light sources for tracking. It's kind of cool. But because I had it all set up on a PC, it had a PC in the middle. And while I love PCs and I love PC gaming, a dedicated piece of hardware that does what it does and basically only what it does is always infinitely easier to use. There was often problems using it. When you connected to the computer instead of to a Wii, the controllers wouldn't switch themselves off. So unless you physically turned them off every time and never pressed the buttons, if they found that device, they would connect to it and they would stay connected to it even if you just pressed the button. Oh, welcome, Inikan 2008. New member, awesome. Yeah, it would just drain the batteries on them like ridiculously quickly, because even if you just pressed one of the buttons on it, it would connect to it. Super fucking annoying, to be quite honest. Whereas the Wii or the Wii U has to be switched on. And it had great problems detecting certain controllers and all sorts of other stuff. So, yeah, the whole point is, I have a Wii U now, which does effectively the same job as a Wii for an exercise machine, and it has all the other stuff that it does. I really like this machine as a little gaming thing. I've done more gaming on my Wii U than I have on my work PC, which is something that I often game on because it's a powerful machine. But because I've been playing Zelda, mostly Wind Waker, because I fucking love that game, and Smash Brothers with the kids. So yeah, what I'm saying is get a Wii U is actually pretty sick. But hack it. Then you can play all the Wii games, all the GameCube games, and like everything from ever in one machine. You can even connect a hard drive to it. That's what I've done. Connected a terabyte hard drive to it. Yeah. So that's kind of my main thing. I haven't actually gotten as much use out of the Mega Drive Mini as I would have hoped, but I haven't really had anyone to play it with, because the kids, the games on that machine are a lot more challenging than what they're used to. They spend a lot of time playing Minecraft. That's their thing. Lego Star Wars The Complete Saga is the best Wii game. Lego Star Wars The Complete Saga is a fucking great game, especially, like I said, for kids. Does the Switch play Wii games? No, the Switch does not play Wii games. I'm not sure if it's even capable. Like, the Wii U, you can actually take the control pad, and it has the LED lights that the controllers need to be able to point at it and use a Wiimote. But a Switch, although it has some of the hardware, like it has the motion sensor, it has an infrared thing. It might be a camera on one of the I can't remember what they call them. The Switch controllers. They have a specific name. The Switch can't play discs due to it being portable. I mean, yeah, it can't play the discs, but it could potentially play the games. Like, the games don't have to come on discs. I mean, every game that I have a bunch of Wii games on my Wii U, and they are all wrapped in a thing that lets me just launch them from a hard drive, because I'm not a big. I've when I got I got a PS4 last year around my birthday, and someone gave me one, and I found out that I fucking hate getting up and switching discs, because I've been so used to playing games on my PC, which are all digital, and even if they're not, you install a game, you get a crack, and then it's fine. Wasn't Wii like nunchuck controllers? The Wii has a remote, like a remote control for a television. That's what it looks like, and it has a bit in the bottom that you click in, and in the other hand it has the nunchuck, which was a stick. You could move it, and it had 2 buttons on it. So it was a Wiimote and nunchuck combination, which all still work on the Wii U as well, which is another thing that I didn't expect. Like, I literally bought my Wii U to play Breath of the Wild on official hardware, because I just kind of wanted to. Wind Waker HD, because, again, I wanted to. And, I mean, I mostly got it because I had a shitload of credit from trading in a phone, and I didn't want to just cut off sort of a shitload of money and not be able to use that money. Instead, I thought, let's get something that I want. Yeah, it was around my birthday time this time around, so I thought, make it a gift to myself kind of thing. I have Wii with Wii Sports only. If you have a Wii, look into hacking it, because they are excellent little homebrew machines. There's a lot of... If you have any inclination whatsoever towards tinkering with hardware and or software, I think Wii's are one of the most fun ways of getting into that basically possible. Especially if you have a first gen one with the GameCube ports on it, because that opens up a bunch more options as well. Yeah, I've had a few Wiis in my life, and I've hacked them all because I really have fun doing that. Skyward Sword, I stopped playing it as I got mad at the motion controls. Yeah, I can get that. Skyward Sword is a game I've never beaten, but I've always wanted to really get into it. My Wii is broken. Now, are we talking about the console or the penis? Also, Wiis are cheap. Yes, they are very inexpensive. You can run DOS games on them. You can use them as you can play a really great thing to play on them, which I did. I played Broken Sword 1 on. Someone has probably said that already. Pizza is happiness. Yeah, I did expect that joke, Harry. Thank you very much for making it. I don't think anybody else has done it so far, though.
Marijuana.
I seek have a bottle on me. Oh, fucking hell. Thank you very much, Anthony. Or Anthony. Or however you prefer it pronounced. I will... Well, I'm very cheap, so I'll have a couple of bottles on you. So, yeah, thank you very much. Hey, did Harry pay for that wrench? I can't remember. I think someone might have paid for it. It's a full moon today. Full of what? Whiskey, because I want that moon. Get a Raspberry Pi. It's capable of playing DOS games. Yeah, I know. I know that if you just want an emulation machine, get a Raspberry Pi. For the most part. I mean, there's some things that it's not very good at. At least the Raspberry Pi 3 wasn't. I imagine that the Raspberry Pi 4, which came out relatively recently, especially if you get the 4 gig rammed variant, is a lot more powerful, so it's probably a lot more capable. But when I have a Raspberry Pi kicking about somewhere, and while I love it, and it's a really cool thing to tinker with, they're not for everybody, because there's things that they do that's a pain in the ass, and B, I forgot my fucking point. They're not for everybody, and they at least when it was the 3, one of the things I wanted to use it for was PlayStation emulation, and it just didn't work very well. It worked okay, but for the games I wanted to play, there was just myriad of problems that I had with it. the same games that I emulated on my Wii, and they worked great. Not all of them, obviously, because emulation is a fickle beast, but they work really well. I mean, I didn't spend that long on it, but you know, you should try debunking some videos that actually pretend to be mainstream science, like channels Riddle and Destiny, fake science channel, and Mr. Scientific, down with them all. Well, Harry, if you send me an email or DM me on Twitter with any of those sorts of things that you think would be a good fit for me, I would be very grateful, and you know, you could get a laugh out of it, I hope. The pie sucked at emulating PlayStation. Everything else is pretty good, though. Yeah, I mean, I really like I liked. I haven't used it in fucking far too long. But the thing is, they're very, very cheap as well. But you could get a Wii from, like, you're still not going to get even a last generation Raspberry Pi for any less than about 20 quid. If you could find a Wii at, like, a car boot sale or thrift sale or fucking... I don't know, I can't remember what Americans call them, but basically someone sells it to you out of the back of their car, essentially. You could get a Wii for basically nothing. And at that point, it becomes something great to fuck about with. Another thing I really like, this is becoming a very gamey / technology thing. This is me, you know. This is what I think about and do most of my time when I'm not working on videos or working in other ways, is as I just fuck about with technology. I mean, this week I stripped down an Xbox 360 I bought reasonably cheap because it was really fucking noisy, and I tore it down. It's the first time I'd ever done it. I managed to tear it down all the way. It was doing really well. I took it apart. I stripped off the heatsink. Fucking hell, X clamps are the worst thing since Mecha Hitler. They are really, really hard to take off. But I got the heatsink off the motherboard, and then I put on some new thermal paste, some thermal grizzly, and put it all back together, and doing a really good job. And then just as the way you put it, the last thing you do, the literal last thing I did was to push the top and bottom back on. And I managed to fucking snap 2 tabs off of it. Just like that, without even trying. I didn't put a lot of force on it. Just managed to... I mean, the thing works fine. It's still really fucking noisy because it's an Xbox 360 fat. So, you know, that was stupid of me. Which is why I hope that Mrs. Six's dad wants an Xbox One and has an Xbox 360 Slim. That... he doesn't want to sell it. He just wants someone to have it that's going to use it. So when he gets that, I should be getting that, and I'll be really happy about that. I'm hoping that thing is a lot fucking quieter. It's supposed to be, but I don't know. But this is what I do. This is what I have fun doing. I just fuck about with hardware. I've been told that I should fucking film it, but I kind of never want to, because filming is work, and I do this stuff just for fun. Teals to fiddle with Wii. Return to the PC with hair and air and smoke out of my ears. Next time, please inform me to unplug it first. Yeah. I mean, depends how you fiddle with your Wii. But, you know, filming is fun. Filming is fun, but filming is also work. And editing is work. And everything. And... while I really, really like what I do for work, I also need to not do it sometimes. I need to make sure that I don't do it. Xbox 360 made of paper, pretty much. The Xbox 360 is a ticking time bomb before the red ring of death. It depends on the model. The newer models are generally fine. Not necessarily, but like I said, I got one for really cheap. I've got another... coming probably for free. And the thing is, if they die of a red ring, I like taking things apart. If I can fix it, that's just a satisfying feather in my cap for me fucking about with hardware. It's something I like doing. It's something that I have done for many, many years. It's a big part of why I like PCs is tinkering. I do love a good tinker. Um, like there is a video on the channel called Build an AI or something like that. It's about a Raspberry Pi that I turned into a quote unquote Google Home with a big arcade button on the top of it, using a kit. This wasn't something that I was like creating myself, but I had a lot of fun doing that. Making that video was really good and was quite a lot of fun, but it was also very, very difficult. It was a very different experience, and the fact that the video is like 5 or 6 minutes long, and it took me about twice as long to make as any other video I've ever done, even like the hardest ones. I have an original Xbox I use for emulators. I have 2 original Xboxes in something. I know that I have to open... I've kind of been leaving them alone because I know that I'm going to have to open them up and do dreaded soldering, or soldering if you're American. I am not very confident. I don't think I've ever done it before. I don't think I even did it in school. It just like we didn't do it in our school for any particular reason. I don't know. But soldering scares the fuck out of me. But it is something that I want to get into, and I know that I have to take off a specific capacitor. I mean, theoretically, I could just tear it off, but there's a capacitor on original Xboxes that will randomly die, spit out its contents, and kill your console. And if you don't take it off, your console is a I mean, talking of ticking time bombs, can you please let me ban myself, please? I mean, I can ban you for you. You're very welcome. The solder Xbox used on them were just the cheapest metal they could find. Yeah, I mean, that's not uncommon. It always bothers me when a company will cheap out on one particular thing for whatever reasons, and you think, oh God, it would only cost you a few pennies. And the thing that genuinely bugs me about it is like, I would rather pay an extra $10 or £10 to have something that wasn't just going to randomly fucking die. But from their perspective, they always have this. Okay, we want to sell this for $300. We want to sell this for $250 or whatever. And they spec everything to that price point, and sometimes they choose the wrong things to cheap out on. But when you look at how it works, it's like, okay, so a few pennies more spent for them is tens, hundreds, even millions when it comes to it. Yeah, exactly. Someone said it's a lot of pennies, but it's all about false economies and that. You've got to pick the right thing to cheap out on. There's certain things that it doesn't matter how much you spend on it, and it kind of doesn't matter how little you spend on it. But there are other things that you just should never ever cheap out on, because it just ruins the fun for everyone in the end. But I don't know. I'm not a big company, so I don't get to make those choices. I would like it if they didn't. You're supposed to buy the latest model before the electrolytic caps die. Yeah, it's something like that. I wish they focused on the inside and stopped focus on trying to make things look like. Yeah, I mean, one of the things that I don't like about consoles is that I would buy a big, bulky motherfucker of a console with really good cooling and maybe its own capacity to be overclocked or something. That's, again, this is the PC gamer in me talking. The case for my PC is a Fractal Design R6. If you go and look at that case, I think it's an R6. I'm pretty sure it's an R6. That case is fucking enormous. It's not the biggest I've ever seen by any stretch of the imagination, but like the one behind, the one I'm using right now for this stream is a Meshify C. Again, Fractal. I like Fractal cases. They're nice. They're attractive. both of them much, much, much bigger than my PS4, certainly than my Wii U, and my older consoles. It's probably the small Meshify C is as big as all of those combined, probably more. Um, oh, Bob Ross and his happy little trees. um, yeah, I don't know. I would like the option, like you have the PS4 and the PS4 Pro. Fine, great. Have a PS4 Pro Plus, which all it is a PS4 Pro innards in a bigger box with some fans or something, so that it can be quieter and that it can live longer. And I would buy that every day of the week above the. And the other thing is, you could use those cheaper, older components that are a bit bigger and have a quote unquote lower lifespan because they run hotter. But because you've got a much, much bigger case and much, much more capable cooling, it wouldn't fucking matter. So you could actually make this big fucking monstrous looking thing that, you know, a lot of people wouldn't like. I don't care. That's what I want. But you know, that's not how consoles work. That's not how console gaming works. Although thinking of that one of the things that I do really, really want that I've never owned is a PS2 Slim, because they are very, very attractive little machines. Just a nice big flat slab. Adam, why are you timing people out? What have we told you? And I don't care if he asked to be timed out. What have you been told, Adam? What have you been told about powers? Huh? What have you been told about using the power? It's myself. Is it though? Is it though? How do I know? I had a PS2 Slim. It failed. Yeah, but they still look pretty. You've at least still got a nice, attractive paperweight. I'm going to have to be an absolute shithead right now because I have been desperate for a piss for about 10 minutes. So I'm going to run. Entertain yourselves, and if anybody comes in, tell them honestly. I'll be back. 2 minutes. Oh, terrible, terrible streamer I am. Right. Sorry about that. Oh. Like I said, terrible person. I mean, they're terrible streams. They should have very long breaks in them. And that's why I shouldn't drink on stream. I join, I hear silence. It's a good job you're like one of the ones that turned up, because at the very least you know. Oh my god, it's alive. I went for a toilet and Mrs. Sick is... I don't know what the fuck she's doing right now. If you're here, either you were nothing to do with Fallout D&D, or I don't know, she's just died at the chair. But either way, maybe she's coming back. Maybe I should have waited and for her to come. But yeah, this is one of the reasons why I need a Mrs. Sick with me, so I can tell her to at least speak a little bit while I go and do things. No, I'm not part of Fallout. Fuck. Okay, she's not coming back. It's only terrible if you take the mic to the bathroom with you. I mean, to be fair. I mean, I'm a pretty good shot. I can do a nice silent piss and just get it to go around the outside of the not on the outside of the toilet. That's fine. I've never understood that. Is anyone here, any man or woman, in fact, that has ever pissed or shit outside, entirely outside the toilet. Like, I cannot comprehend how these people exist. I mean, it's probably not a good idea. Oh, God. That's disgusting. It is! But yet, almost every time I've gone into a public bathroom, somewhere there is urine or feces in that room, not in the toilet, and in a way that you know that they... I don't know if it was on purpose or just insanity. Raise his hand. Christian, why? Tell me. Explain yourself. If true. If you're just... Like, I can get that sometimes we have accidents and... No, I still don't get the shit very drunk. Not while I was sober. Like, it's one of the things, as I'm a person who will never ever be sick away from a toilet. I have been sick. I have not made it to a toilet and been sick. And I cleaned up after myself, or tried. I was very drunk. But I just don't understand. I can't. I had to pee and did just not manage to reach the toilet. Okay, that's not the same thing. What I'm looking for is someone who just... I don't know. Maybe it's always an accident. Maybe it's just... Or there's just phantom shitters everywhere. I don't think. I think people do it on... There's got to be people who do it on purpose. I struggle to believe some of the things that happen that can't possibly be done on purpose. The one person to never ever be sick was actually sick all along. Oh, I'm sick. I vomit a lot. I mean, actually, no, I haven't vomited in fucking ages, but then I don't go out like I used to. I wonder if Sir Sick thought he had to go number 1 and had to go 2. I mean, I always make it to the toilet in time. Maybe in my youth, I've defecated myself, or at least a little bit, as a child. Not that it's something that I can remember, perhaps repressed, but as an adult, I don't think I've had any particular accidents. Nothing that I can recall. Again, it could be repressed. He's sick, but a noble sort of sick. That's the Sir. Yeah, it's like a casual vomit. I vomit all the time from drinking 8 cups of tea. Well, stop drinking them all at once, for fuck's sake. Anyway, we always end up on shit and piss and vomit. Let's talk about something else. Whenever something disgusting happens that seems completely unreasonable, there is only one explanation: teenagers. I mean aliens. Probably both. Teenage aliens are probably the biggest cunts in the universe. Just awful fucking quote-unquote people. You're saying as an adult you've never tried to push out a fart and ended up with a little chunk. I have genuinely never ended up with a little chunk. But I'm not someone who pushes out farts. I've farted and gone, oh, I need a shit. But not because anything came out. It's just that because I suddenly realised, and then you just run off to the bathroom. But I can't say. I have eaten so much fried food, I feel Scottish. Ah, man, I would love some fried food. Now we're just getting back onto me being fat. Talking of me being fat, I need to check if YouTube is still making me wait to know what the fuck is going on. Probably. Either that, or they've definitely demonetized my entire channel. Like, yeah, that'd be fun. That is one of the things. There was a wave of nope, they just haven't checked. A wave of demonetization and full demonetizations and removal from the partner program for all sorts of channels, like people that you wouldn't even expect it to happen to. And some of them got to ask for it back and got it back, and that was fine. Although a month without income, especially for people who have it as a main source of income, that shit's ridiculous. But that's always another thing that sort of as an extremely anxious person that I just sort of live in fear of. Although when another apart from technology and games being like some of my primary concerns, I listen to a lot of Reddit videos, and one of the things that I listened to today was about people being fired in really shitty ways, and a lot of it is just sort of stuff that comes out of fucking nowhere, and it's one of the things like no job is really that secure. I mean, if this whole thing falls through, I wouldn't have a lot of recourse. I mean, it would entirely depend on how. But if YouTube just decided to stop letting me make money, there wouldn't be a whole lot I could do about it. Um, but like a lot of jobs are exactly that, and so it's sort of a very terrifying world, which is why I'm not a huge fan of relying on other people and relying on other things. Like, there's nothing wrong with relying on a lot of other people in like a small way, but never have one person be everything you need, because they're only going to disappoint you, and even if they're not, something could happen to them. You don't fucking know. So, yeah, like something I've given a lot of thought to is what I would do. Like, it's fantastic. Like, I've got Patreon and I've got the merch store, and those do bring in a good amount of money. It's not the world by any stretch of the imagination, and what's brought in on that is nowhere near enough to live off of. But YouTube itself is a decent part of my income, as much as it can be very difficult to get monetized. Older videos remaining monetized and getting new ones monetized properly, it's been something I've been very focused on recently in order just to remove that stress. This is why I upload 3 or 4 of the exact same video and just see what the fuck YouTube does with it. Because I don't believe for a fucking second that I don't believe that their system works at all. I don't think it functions the way it's supposed to by their own way of making it work. I think when you make a video and you upload it to YouTube, when you've written all your things in and set it up in unlisted mode or whatever, or even publish it, I think it's a toss of a coin whether you get hit by the bot regardless. And I think it's a toss of a coin who you get that reviews your videos. I think that there's a lot of people that do it, and I think that some of them are much lazier than others. Some of them are much more lackadaisical in their attitude towards what is and isn't monetizable content. And I think some of them are a lot more draconian. I think some of them will be just awful people. But I think, on the other hand, I think some of the people will just be like, they get a big long list of videos and then they set them off playing in the background while they go do something else, and then they come back, a few hours later, and they just go stamp, 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 stamp. Yes, yes, no, yes, yes, no, 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 yes, no, no, yes, no. And yeah, I mean, that's what it feels like. I could be completely wrong. I can hear Mrs. Six Sweet's voice in the background. But that's my YouTube career in a nutshell. Is just like trying to figure out what the fuck.
Marijuana.
And thank you for the Harry. I know it came out recently. I think Philly D Show reported someone compiled a list of terms the algorithm flags. Yeah, I've heard that. And maybe that's true. Maybe, I don't know. I don't really understand. Could Mrs. do a D&D stream? She used to, sort of. She used to host some of the streams on her channel, so you could probably go listen to them. I don't know if they're still there, But would you agree that once you have a strike or demonetized, you will be watched closer in the future? Honestly, I don't think that is true because I think the system just strikes and demonetizes stuff in general. I think there's so much stuff. I think every single channel, has false positives on it all over the place. It's just a very strange and honestly quite silly system. And hello, Mrs. Sick.
Hello.
I guess what we can do now is
Oh, you're all alone.
is add you back in. There she is. Ah, still a better love story than Twilight. How was your bullshit?
We killed a load of ghouls.
Oh, those fucking ghouls. Well, I spent about half an hour talking about
Alright, Cookie, calm down. Hello.
how to hack a Wii U. Not how to hack a Wii U. To you.
If you've been held hostage, blink twice.
Is it blinking? I can't tell. Or is it the stars? You should have been here sooner. I don't think I could have held that piss in for another 15 minutes, though. So, at least I didn't have to go for a poop. But yeah, was it worth it?
Yeah, I have a channel, but there's nothing on it. There's like D&D stuff on it.
Well, that's what I was saying. They were asking if I think it was Adam was asking if you would do a D&D stream. I, on the other hand, would not.
I could, but it'd be very boring. Because
it depends how into D&D streams you are, but they can be very number crunchy.
Like I would do my campaign that I'm doing, but I'm very new to DMing anyway.
People would still listen to it and they'd love it. I am the big gay XD. Yes, you are, Cookie. Yes, you are.
Is Callum on Cookie's account? Is that why she keeps typing in caps randomly?
Is Callum her fella?
Yeah.
Right. They're all ready to the GRAVY. We don't say that word without payment. So it's Sir Social Inequality Crusader, the Social Inequality Crusader. Well, due to branding concerns, it's now just Sir Sick. You'll notice. I mean, okay, the title still says that, but in terms of branding, it's just Sir Sick.
I don't want to know where your brother's rubbing off. Thank you very much, Cookie.
Yeah. So, was it fun?
Yeah, it was good. It's been a while since we've done the Fallout one, and yeah, I did miss it. It is a really good one. It's just really just because it's just fucking ridiculous and wacky, and we just end up doing shit like what the fuck shit. And Shade is very open to having ridiculous little like features in the game and things.
Harry, TSTP means terrible stream for terrible people. And only terrible people are allowed, so
What
I
is
hope
your
you're
channel,
terrible.
Mrs. Sick? It's Mrs. Sick.
Shockingly. I'm not sure if it's shared on my channel in any way. I don't know.
I don't know.
Doesn't really matter. She doesn't put anything on it. Okay, sad face. No, being a terrible person is good. Unless you're not a terrible person.
Then fuck you.
Then go away. Terrible people, what you've got to understand is, we mean terrible people, as in terrible at being people, because the humans are fucking awful. I hate them so much. But terrible people is just I always get notified of your streams the second they're over. I really fucking hate that system. Again,
Yeah,
YouTube
that
working the
happens to
way
me
it's
as well.
I get emails for them like straight away. I love the comedy gold you put on your videos. I mean,
You welcome.
Marijuana.
I hope that they're funny.
Marijuana.
I hate smartphones. I just realised the name.
I quite like my smartphone, but it's a lower end smartphone, and that's what's good about it. Wait, but Cookie isn't a terrible epsilon. She's a chocobo, and I'm not a person. I'm a talking embodiment of lung cancer. I'm a terrible person because I'm a furry. That is pretty awful. I always get notified for streams super quick and off 9:10. Get first comment. Yeah. Like, I always make sure, or I try to make sure, I tweet out that streams are happening, and then again, I have made these so they start at 9 and they end at 10 Greenwich Mean Time. So if it's 9 o'clock in England, 9 p.m. in England on a Sunday, that's when the 6th stream starts. Your regional equivalent, whatever. Figure that out and you will not miss any of them.
I like Mr. Beast. There's nothing wrong with him. I like his videos. They're very fun.
Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with her, I'll be honest. Get on my level, Sif. I vote. Well, I don't know what the fuck that's about. I'm going to ignore it. But yeah, as I said before, the video is up and ready to go out once shit is sorted. I didn't say they weren't. I'm saying good taste. Haha, you've just been owned. I don't like Mr. Beast because he says he does that advert for honey, and he doesn't know how to pronounce opera. He pronounces it Oprah, and it fucking drives me absolutely bananas because that advert is all over the fucking place because he's a popular YouTuber. So I don't know why. It's opera, for fuck's sake. Just compare the spelling to Oprah. It just makes me mad. I'm going to get height and go to bed. Take care, everyone. Alright. Good night, Salty Gamer. I went to the Oprah, my dear. It's okay, Adam. They can't read. They actually do it more accurately the words you spell. Yeah, it's a special skill. He's paid to pronounce it that way, so you would get triggered by it and tell us all about honey. They haven't asked me to fucking plug their shit. I'm upset. In fact, I don't think anybody's asked me to plug any of their shit.
It's pronounced Zeopria.
Zeopja. Sugar puffs are great. Oh man, I would love some cereal. I'm not allowed cereal. Right. Raid Shadow Legends. Yeah. I've not had any requests from any of those things. A lot of people I know recently have had a few things like that, but they're all people who are sort of over 100,000 subs. So I imagine when you reach over 100,000 subs, people just go looking for channels with that many subscribers and ask them shit. I still get a lot of fucking requests to join bullshit random networks, multi-channel networks. And little piece of advice to anyone who ever wants to make a YouTube channel. Do not join a multi-channel website network. Not now. They used to be the only way you could get paid. Now, what they do is they take your money. They take like 10, 20, 30% of your money. And that's what they do. They just take money from you. That's all they do. The idea that they can protect your site, your channel, no, they don't give a fuck about you. Unless you're the only people who benefit from multi-channel networks.
Dog. I feel terrible too.
I feel horrible and sexy.
Yeah, making you go on someone else's network and stuff is in it. They just all they do is they show the analytics which you already have.
From what I've seen, the best ones will literally just give you a more streamlined version of your own analytics page with less information on it. yeah, you don't get anything out of it. It is not worth it to do it. I don't think it has ever been worth it to do it.
Only trust networks run by Nigerian royalty.
Yeah. They are kind of the pimps of YouTube, but the thing about a pimp is, if one of your clients fucks you about, a pimp will go and kick his ass. The multi-channel web networks will go, oh, someone fucked with you. Oh, that's a shame. And then just leave you to it. Or you just won't get any information out from them. All they do is take money. They are the leeches of YouTube. Do not ever join one. You are far better off to be partnered with YouTube. Even if they give you the capability of maybe having better adverts, they're the ones that get that money, not you.
They always say like, "Oh, we'll get you more viewers and we'll get you more subscribers and stuff like that." And it's like, I don't know. I personally, I would prefer it if I just earned it myself rather than relying on someone else.
The leeches of YouTube are reaction channels. Oh, like yeah. I don't know, because they are at least making something. Even I don't want to defend them because I'm not a big fan of them, full stop. But compared to multi-channel networks, or at least the type I'm talking about, I'm sure that there are positive ones out there.
It depends on who it is, because you do get some reaction channels which actually will sit and give their opinion on something. But then there's the other ones that'll sit there completely just blank-faced for like 6 minutes watching a video, and at the end go, that was funny, and then end it.
Yeah.
And it's like...
But even they are still making something. Oh, hey, Harry's channel. Yeah, Harry's channel is quite good. I believe I've stolen content from it in the past. I say stolen. Technically, I didn't know it was his because it was already stolen by someone else who had taken out the watermark or any sort of identifying characteristics of the video. And I just saw this cool thing. I've either used it or I've seen it, but I didn't know it was Harry. But once I found Harry, I was like, oh my god, I've seen that shit before. This shit is awesome. So I was quite pleased to see it.
Yeah, I think, like, with the reaction channel, like, if there's any effort put into it, rather than just sat in front of a camera watching TV, basically, like, I do give them a bit of props for doing that, because running your own channel is...
You could take the idea of, like, a Mystery Science Theatre 3000.
Yeah.
You know, if someone had that kind of quality sort of reactions, that would be good. Sir Sick, what do you think of my name? Fire Shark. It sounds a bit like Viacom. I mean, it's Pyro Shark, but whatever. It's to hide the fact that she went blind from drinking away the pain of season 8. Wait, what am I missing?
Everything.
Yeah. Reaction channels are still fine. Storytime channels, KSI Brothers reacting.
Game of Thrones and his picture of
by
Daenerys.
sitting still and doing nothing. Every Ask Reddit channel using Daniel TTS are the problem. The really big problem with the Ask Reddit stuff is people like me who fucking watch it, because I'm sorry, it's taking great content and putting it somewhere that's easy to consume. I can put one of those on while I'm doing the washing up or doing basically anything. Like Reddit itself needs to do a thing, I don't know, but unfortunately it's content that people want. I watch it, I feel bad, but I don't really like reading that stuff because I can't read that stuff and do other things. I like playing games and listening to those. I like washing up and listening to those. It's just unfortunate, really. Gaming channels with a Patreon, that's what pisses me off. Why a gaming channel with a Patreon? What's wrong with that? Which Reddit channels you watch? Basically anything. They're all... I don't particularly like the ones that are read out, because most, if not all of the ones I've heard, are just charisma-less fucking dipshits. I really, really hate... I prefer the voice that literally has no charisma, but is designed that way because it's quite easy to listen to, than people reading it out but poorly. Hey, do you like videos with effort? Do you want a little giggling and mumbling man in the corner too? Yes. But some Reddit channels are really funny. Like, there's Reddit channels like Sorrow TV. I mean, he's not really a Reddit channel, but that's something worthwhile because he's somewhat transformative and he's additive to the content. But there's lots and lots of garbage ones. But you can see why they do it because it's really fucking easy to do. You can
challenge, like Mr. Beast one. Like the only ones I actually watch on his channel are the ones where he donates to streamers. Everything else is sort of like, okay, whatever. I don't really care.
Well, one of the things that people often, if I tell normal people in the real world what I do for a living, or at least what I do here, when I say, yeah, I make videos, and they go, oh, right, so you do like this person, and it'll be a vlogger. And I'll be like, no, it's not like that. Or like this version, another fucking vlogger. It's like, no, I don't do that. I make content. As much as my videos are garbage, they still take a lot of fucking work. It is not a vlog. I am not just sat in front of the camera and maybe I'll edit out my flubs. It's just not the same goddamn thing, and it drives me mad that people seem to think that. On that note, though, I've given you an extra 2 minutes for the sake of me having a piss. But I am going to call this stream here because mostly I want to play some games and I want to go to bed shortly after. But like I said, video is hopefully going to come out tomorrow. If not, I don't know. But yeah, it should be good, I hope. And I hope you all have a good night. And people saying good night. Yeah. Yeah. Have a good one, and we'll see you in the next video. You only got a few minutes of Mrs. Sick, and even then, it wasn't much.
So, a few minutes is all you need.
Yeah. Everyone's gotten all they needed for the Spank Bank this week. All right. Thanks very much for coming, and we will see you next time. Bye.